I am sure sports. You know me there, from coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know the game play, that me not say it. If me never seen a game, me not know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Ethnic jerk marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
William D. Memorial High School D-Cup Alumni presents its third annual fundraising barbecue on Memorial Day, May 30th, 2022. Wear your favorite jersey to Wilsonwood Park in Mount Vernon, New York. Remember to take exit 12 off the Hutchinson River Parkway. Music by DJ Mad Max of Sound 1000. Proceeds to aid the William D. High School Costa Cup team. For more information, contact Keegan 304-607-4034. Our Codfish at 954-639-2991. Proud of people, it's important. Remember, make sure say Ono did that.
All right, greetings, viewers and subscribers. I am Man, and welcome to I Am Sure Sports. This is probably part 2 of the discussion we were having today as we look at the ongoing situation with our Reggae girls, Coach Vin Blaine, the outside quote-unquote influencers. Still remains a mystery to many who they are, and the federation and the World Cup campaign. So we have the small, the pinky, the fourth finger, let me see, the middle finger, the index finger, and the thumb. Don't know which order you want to put them in. And we are going to be talking some more and looking at some things this evening where that is concerned. All right. But before we get into that, let me do a couple of things. We have again with us a very special guest this evening, and he's going to share his thoughts, right? So before I bring him on, let me just share with you a couple of good things. One is to first big up our sponsors, Prestige Finance, lending a helping hand when you need it the most. They are located in Linstead, St. Catherine, and you can call them at 876-884-7390, and they will lend you up to 100,000 Jamaican dollars. Listen, 0 to 4% interest rate, no processing fee, and same-day processing. Also, Launch Legacy, where they handle risk and seek legacy. So for all your personal insurance needs in Canada and the USA, visit them at launchthelegacy.com or call or text them at 647-989-0782. Here's the good news with Launch Legacy. At some point, you will stop working for money. And at that point, you will want your money to start working for you, right? So get into the habit of doing that by reaching out to Launch Legacy, and they will help you. If you remember Patrick Reed, former footballer, he is part of Launch Legacy. And as a Jamaican, I'm very sure that he'll be more than happy to share his expertise with you. I'm going to invite and introduce my very special guest coach, Charlie Edwards. Former, I call him the Constant Spring coach, who happens to end up somehow at Barbican, I don't know, and has stayed there instead of coming back to Constant Spring. But we love him nonetheless because he's one of the best out there in his field. All right. And also, former part of the national coaching setup on the female side. Good to have you this evening again, Coach Edwards.
Good evening, Omar. Good evening to all the listeners, and thanks for having me on your program again.
All right, wonderful. So I have a letter that I want to read. I don't know if you want to be on when I'm reading the letter, or the letter is a letter that was sent. If you don't mind, I will read it when you're on. And if you don't want you don't want me to cause you any trouble, I can put you back in the background, read the letter, and then I will bring you back on.
Well, I didn't send a letter, and the letter is not about me, so it doesn't matter.
All right, wonderful. So many of you have been hearing about this letter. I'm going to read the letter as it is. All right. I'm not going to put it on screen, but I will read it as is for you, word for word. I'm going to stop at every full stop and pause at every comma. All right. The one thing I will not do is give you the names of those who have signed and those who have not signed, but I will give you some information about that so you can figure out what's happening. So here we go, Coach, and viewers. Let's read the letter. All right. It says it is addressed to Mr. Ricketts. It says dissatisfaction with coaching staff. This communication serves to express our disappointment with the leadership of our present coaching staff and our inability to further commit to this cause in the absence of meaningful intervention on your part. Our challenges did not arise abruptly, but have been compounded by our last two international windows and World Cup qualifying matches. As players, our dedication has been unquestionable. We have shown unwavering resilience throughout the season and believe we have the requisite talent to take our country to another World Cup. However, despite our best efforts, we do not believe the present coaching staff has the required skills and personnel to help us advance to higher levels this coming July. Against that backdrop, the team struggles to make a pledge going forward. Our main concerns have been: main point 1, coaching. Bullet points: lack of details in training session, lack of video analysis, set pieces, post-match review for the team improvement, the absence of an organized game plan, no tactical training sessions, lack of specificity of training sessions leading up to matches, the absence of specific positive instructions, lack of incorporation of all aspects of training, recovery methodology, strength work. Main point number 2, communication, insufficient follow-ups, no opening and or closing meetings. Main point number 3, organization, bullet points, lack of professionalism, the absence of staff without any reasonable or provided explanation, scant regard for punctuality, the absence of a schedule, daily or otherwise. As a result of the shared concerns, the relationship between ourselves and the present staff has depreciated significantly, if not disjointed. Put simply, the staff does not know or make any effort to know the players. And this is untenable. Whilst we appreciate the conundrum you are now placed in to remedy the highlighted deficiencies, all right, and I will give you the highlighted points. Our commitment is contingent on decisive and serious actions, as anything less is an indication of a futureless Reggae Girls. We await your favorable response and hope that this matter can be settled amicably. Here ended a reading of the holy letter. Thanks be to the provider.
That last part you had it.
No. That. Oh, yeah.
The holy letter.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. Because that would have put a completely different spin to the entire thing for me. That's a very strong letter, though, man. And very detailed letter.
Yes.
It's fascinating.
The letter is fascinating.
Yeah.
All right. But what are your thoughts though on the whole, given I don't know if you have heard all the contents of the letter, but so now that you have heard the full letter, I will say that players have signed. There are 3 who did not sign. All right. I will also say that there are players who did not play in the window and could not play in the window, did not play in the window, but they signed the letter.
Oh. So it's not the full present squad that signed?
No, there is at least one player who has not yet represented Jamaica in an international game who signed the letter.
But she has been in training. Must have been. Because if she signed that and she's not in the squad training, then she has been influenced by the others.
Well, this is it now. If she was in the training, it would only be for the last 2 games.
Okay. Well, at least she had to be in a training to sign the letter.
Yeah.
If not, she is signing the letter on behalf of hearsay.
Right. And there is one other player who signed that was not here for the last 2 games. So some of the players, because remember the coach only had 4 games. The first game, like he came in and they had a game very soon after. Right. They had limited time. Really and truly, the games they had very they trained, they traveled, they rested, they played, and they left. That was the sequence. All right. So if you came for 2 games like that, and you agree to all of these things, there are questions to be asked. In other words, in my humble opinion, there's no way in your 2 training sessions you could have walked away saying that punctuality is an issue. You only, all right, so post-match review for team improvement. How would a player who never played sign a letter about post-match review? How important is that? You have not played.
No, well, post-match review, she could have been in the squad. And she hasn't heard anything. Because remember, sometimes when they're talking...
She could not have been in the squad.
No, training squad, the big training
Oh,
squad.
okay.
So she could have been around while you have the post-match review. Because remember now, although she's not in the exact squad going into the game, you're still a part of the big training squad. So whatever is being discussed, you're also a part of it. You have to be. Because when you step in, you need to know exactly what was going on and where you're going to fit in and how you're going to fit in.
All right. So let me ask this question to a few coach, because you're a coach. Is 2 games enough to measure a player?
A player or a coach?
A player, because if I can't use 2 games to measure a player, then is it fair for me to use 2 games to bring up let me see, two games less than 1 week to come up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 issues. 18 issues I have with a coach that I've spent 7 days with, to the point that I want him to go.
There are a lot of those issues can come up in 2 games, to be honest with you. Punctuality, for me, I don't believe in being late for a session because leaders must lead from front. So some of these girls are coming from highly professional teams where these coaches are spot on. I can tell you that. I've been overseas already and see guys getting fired for being 5-10 minutes late 2-3 times. So they're coming from this sort of environment where they're accustomed to that. And this is the thing, when you're bringing down these professional players, then you have to understand that you now have to step up to the plate and play the game. So you can measure some of these things in terms of session plan. That's easy to see because you'll be seeing a coach kind of stumbling his way through training, right? But the question is not all of these things, but Vin Blaine has been around for a long time, and I'll be very surprised if all of these things are spot on that he was doing. I'd be disappointed to know that he would have done that, but he has been around for a long time. He has been in charge of Grenada, he has been in charge of Bermuda, and I would have that he would have done completely better than that. So I'm not even sure how to accept or deny all of that.
All right. So
because what we're going off, Omar, is
yeah. I have
the letter, and the letter is representing the girls, and then Vin is representing himself. So you can't even tell. There's 3 sides to every story in life.
Yeah, true. All right. So I have in my presence, because there says there's no schedule, a schedule that has the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th. On Monday the 11th, 8:30 a.m. breakfast at the hotel. 1 p.m. lunch at the hotel. 2:45 team meeting at the hotel. 3:30 p.m. depart for training. You must be in the hotel lobby. 4 p.m. training at Sabina Park. 7:30 p.m. dinner at the hotel. 10 p.m. lights out in your room. Tuesday the 12th, 9 a.m. breakfast at the hotel. 2 p.m. lunch at the hotel. 2:45 pre-game meeting at the hotel. 3:30 p.m. depart for Graham hotel lobby. 6 p.m. game at Sabina Park. 9 p.m. dinner at the hotel. Wednesday, various times, departures, hotel lobby.
All right. Now we need clarification what the schedule really means. Is it the training schedule or is it the daily schedule for the team?
Well, what the letter says is the absence of schedule. Let me just make sure I get the correct wording. Daily or otherwise. It says no, not that. The absence of a schedule, daily or otherwise.
Oh, and you got this schedule.
Yes, and I got the schedule that was sent to all the players in the team.
Wow, right.
And then I got an earlier schedule that was sent, all right, with the common purpose It has, of course, some of this, it has the fixtures, the games, the date, the time. This was sent from the 29th of March. This was before the games. All right? All of those things. And then in it now, it has women's senior national team match preparation schedule Monday, the 4th of April to Wednesday, the 13th of April. All right? It has everything for Monday. Staff players arrive various times, team meeting, dinner. Then you have breakfast, you have COVID-19 testing, lunch, you depart for training, dinner, lights out, all of those things. In fact, it even have in it like set plays. It has a list of all the players, all of those things. It has who fully vaccinated. It has, it has all the, the plays in terms of set plays, like what to do on the free kicks and corners. All of those things are here.
Wow.
So what it is saying is that some of the content in the letter is not matching up with the information.
Right. Definitely. There's something wrong right there.
Yeah.
There's no parallel between some of these arguments.
Yeah.
So it seems as if some of them are just fabricated to create an impression.
Yeah. And then there are other issues that Coach Vin Blaine admitted to, that they could have been better. That he said he will take responsibility for some of the communication issues.
Right.
But some of the issues he's denying that these things happen. For example, my understanding is that he travels especially when they're away. So they play 2 away match, 2 home matches. The away matches, they travel in the same bus to training together. So I don't know if the punctuality mean that they had 3 o'clock training, but they ended up getting to the training at 3:30, because whenever the team got there, the coaching staff would have gotten there because they all traveled in the same vehicle on the overseas trip.
A lot of these things are not matching up, but based on what you're telling me now, I can say that. But I'm not in a position to say that the girls are right or Vin Blaine is right. So I'm merely just pointing out that there's a big difference between the two, between the letter and what Vin has given you. So something is not right.
Yeah.
I am somebody who don't like to go off a fabricated story or assumptions. And I don't know who has fabricated and I don't want to make assumptions on anything. But what I can say is that it's not a good look right now, in terms of what's happening. And that letter to me is so strong. And also I had very demanding.
Yeah, futureless reggae girls.
There are some very demanding points that this is what is going to happen if not. And it's kind of sad. But I know that if you're going to protest in a very strong way to get something corrected, because once you go soft, then the Federation may just brush you aside and ignore you, or maybe call up and say, listen, we have to continue. So if they find that there is something drastically wrong, obviously they're going to put their point across very strongly, and this is maybe what they have done, because they really want to change. Now, as to whether the change is justifiable, we can only go off the pointers which are being made or written. And then here comes Vin now countering it. So we are sitting down in a position now where we have no clue as to what is what. All we can say is that the situation doesn't look good, and it doesn't serve the country very well in terms of the program going forward. So what do we do?
So that is why I have you on, to help us come to a reasonable conclusion and solution that everybody goes away with some level of peace, that this is how it panned out.
Well, there's only one way that this can end. And you and I know we have been in football long enough to know that once a coach has lost a dressing room, he has to go.
Yeah.
And the sad thing about it, though, is if, and I'm using if in a very strong term, strong way, because I have no proof of anything, that if all of what they have said is true, he has to go. He has really lost the changing room. And if what he has said is true, he still has lost the changing room, because even though he might be right with his pointers, something still went wrong somewhere along the line. And there's also another side to all of this. And I think that with I don't want to call any names because I'm not in the situation. I don't know. But whomever the third party is must have been lingering around for a while, or was part of it for a while, or whatever you want to look at it. And the JFF should have been proactive enough to know that if they're going to bring Vin Blaine in as the coach, then they had a role to play. They had to meet with the other parties, discuss all of this, and find a smooth solution for everybody to travel going forward. So their lack of ability to be proactive could also be contributing significantly in all of this. I don't want to say I want to be jumping on the JFF all the time, but this is a reality. You have to learn to be proactive. You're a professional organization and you have a responsibility, and these things should have been addressed.
Yeah. All right. This Jamaican American is correcting us, saying that we ought to say locker room instead of dressing room, because dressing room is for actors.
Not locker room, but changing room then.
Yeah, changing room, changing room. But okay, so you're saying that the if the federation were proactive, one of the things that could have been done is that, based on this, it is obvious that these people would have been lingering around for a while to have drawn some of these conclusions if they are so-called outside influencers. And the federation would have known this and could have taken action before to, once you
Exactly.
install Vin Blaine, to get them as far away from the program as possible.
Maybe far away as possible if that could be done, but also you must remember, if it's a third party that is associated with the program, then you can't put them far away from the program. You have to now look at an amicable solution for everybody to be happy going forward, because everybody is trying to serve the country as best as possible. But obviously, there are raw wires dangling around and creating problems. So, but we also have to say that we are also going off what Dana said. So if there's no third party, then there's no need for the JFF to have acted in that manner. So we can only speculate right now and say that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
You see, we're going off of what Vina said and what, well, we see the letter, but we still don't know how influenced a lot of these players may have been to sign a letter. So we don't know, like you have seen, and you have asked a question about players who have not really been in the squad signing a letter. So there are so many questions to be asked. But the one common thing that I can say is that the players are not happy for some reason or the other. True or false, something has spurred them or stimulated them to act in this manner.
Yeah. And
this is a heavy way to act, you know.
Yeah. All right. So, have you ever been? Are you aware of any situation in football, whether club or nation, where players have, influenced or not, unanimously, I would say, ask our coach who has won the games that he has led them, ask for that person and the staff as well, because it says the coaching staff, to be removed from the position? I mean, are you aware of any situation like that? And if so, how did they come to an amicable solution? Because I think part of what we need to look at, because in July we have a campaign, we are in May, and anybody who is going to come in needs to start arranging training camps, all of these things. So how would that have been dealt with in the situation, if you have any, you know?
This is one of the strongest I've ever seen. I remember in a World Cup, at the World Cup stage, and this was not against the coach, I think this was against the Federation. Ghana had a big protest. I tried to remember where the World Cup was being played, but they had a big protest, and it's like they didn't want to continue. And it's like they had to have meetings with them and sort out the players because I think they were going to boycott the World Cup. But I can't remember where it was, but I've heard of situations like
I
this.
think Ghana had that situation once.
Yes, but it was against the federation, I think, for not paying them the money due to them. All right. And, but this is not an uncommon situation. It's just that it's new to us, right? And you have a lot of, I think the women, US women were also protesting one time, but this was also against the federation for not being equal to the US men, but not in this strong manner. But I'm pretty sure it has happened in a lot of places. And this is something that we have to really protect ourselves against, because also what this is doing is opening the door for possibilities of these things reoccurring.
Yeah. And what I'll say is that personally for me, right, because one of my concerns is if it is a questioning of his ability. The last, with all due respect, the last 3 coaches that we have had, I don't think they have better records than Vin Blaine.
Well, they've been to the World Cup.
Well, that is true, right?
That's a big record within itself.
Big record, all right. But did they build that team all by themselves to the World Cup?
I think they did. They actually selected. That is how come you ended up with a lot of the US-based players, because they're both US-based coaches. And they didn't know much about the local players, so they brought in what they knew. Lauren Donaldson was up in Colorado, and Umense is down in Florida, and they brought in quite a few players that they knew.
All right, so outside of the Jamaicans, so fine, big record. Outside, so you Busby, so this is what I can't, like certain things I can't add together, because so you Busby was a goalkeeper coach.
Yes.
So he qualified the team to the World Cup.
No. Who qualified the team was Umense, Lawrence, and you Busby as the goalkeeper coach, but technical and outfield coaches were the other 2.
Right. There you go. So my point is, no one had any issue with the goalkeeper coach being a rookie coach doing the job.
I wouldn't call him a rookie coach, because remember, he was doing the Women's Pro League in Canada. He was the head coach of the Vancouver Whitecaps, I think it was. And that is where his allegation was coming from way back. So he has been head coach before. I too, like you at one stage, was questioning whether he was qualified as a head coach, but when you heard of his track record, it's not that he was good or bad, but he had a track record of being a head coach. And to be honest with you, you have a lot of coaches who are, outfield who do keep the job. So
the question I'm asking, because some people are saying that one, Vin Blaine is not a good coach, he can't coach, he's a rookie coach, and why we complain about him being fired? So no rookie.
Omar, that is something we don't need to get into, because even with my track record, you're going to hear people say I'm not a good coach also. And then you're going to hear people flag me out. So these are things that we as coaches have to learn to close our ears to, and turn our eye to it.
So that is what I want people. So when you're going to come inside the comment section, this is not for you, coach, and say that the man is this and man is that. Listen, you can have a problem with the person But if you feel like you need to come in and disrespect somebody because nobody disrespect, you don't need to be a part of the chat. Why do you feel like you need to
Well,
disrespect nobody? Not you, coach.
what
I
I
need
would
to talk to
suggest to
this.
you, but what I know, but
Yeah,
let me advise you with something. Every
yeah,
person out there is entitled to their opinion.
yeah,
What you have to do is not take it on, just let it slide by without even giving energy to it.
yeah,
Just let it be a
yeah,
comment that just go
yeah,
by
man.
because they're entitled to their opinion, and I never fight anybody with their opinion. They are entitled to it. God made them as an individual, and some people look at coaching in different ways. For
All
instance,
right, so coach, your mic. They're
a
saying
lot.
that your mic is they say your mic giving a little feedback, right?
Oh, can I take
Yeah,
it off?
so yeah, yeah, I don't know if you want. All right, so see if you can do that, and then you sign out, and then if you can set the phone this way, landscape, then you can, and then come back on. So let's see if we can fix Coach Charlie Edwards' mic. So see, you want to sign out and sign back in? All right, not hearing you. No, we're not hearing you. All right, so sign out and sign back in. Just sign out completely and then sign back in, and then we should be good to go. All right. Yeah. So express your opinion, but you don't have to be disrespectful. You understand me? To the gentleman. So like I said before, listen, here's the thing. You don't have to be, listen, if Manning's man, if you don't agree with nothing that Manning's man has to say, guess what? Guess what? You can unsubscribe. If you believe that your ways coming on my platform and disrespecting people, you can unsubscribe. You don't need to be a part of it. Why listen to me if I'm a disgrace to our football RD and TV? Why you come on every day? You can unsubscribe. It is unsubscriber mode, you know. So you don't have to. You can unsubscribe. So we all agree that the coach needs to go. We are dissecting the thing. What kind of bias are you talking about? You don't need to disrespect the man. You don't need to do that. Be respectful, man. All right. So let's bring on back the coach. Yes, coach. So in terms of pathway going
Any
forward, so
better
number
now?
one, like you said, yeah, whole lot better. And I agree with you. The coach has lost the dressing room. If all of this is true, he has lost the dressing room. If none of this is true, he has lost the dressing room. Therefore, like I said, going back in is untenable. Right?
Definitely.
So there
It
you go.
makes no sense.
Makes no sense. All right. How that works out in terms of what he gets, how he's compensated, is a different issue. All right. So that's number one.
He needs to be compensated because they took him out of a good job.
Okay. Now, going forward, there needs to be a coach because, like I said, we have a short time to prepare to make arrangements. While I believe we have a good crop of players, like I said in my show earlier today, I think somehow, regardless of how this, the ladies will be able to galvanize themselves because of probably all the negative repercussions of the letter. I think they are going to galvanize themselves to be able to somehow find a way to still qualify.
Well,
I almost want to say regardless of food. Yeah. Go ahead.
I agree with you. And the short window time is what is a major problem right now because July is qualifiers. We need camps. We need practice games. And we need time for a coach who is coming in to climatize with the players and put all these things in place that they're talking about, which are also necessary ingredients to get the team up and running properly, because even the video analysis system is so important. And this is where a lot of us in the Caribbean flop sometimes, because we don't have these things in place. These are the modern way of coaching now.
Yeah. So do you get, because the thing is, with this short time, I mean, in your experience, is it you need someone that they're already familiar with, or you need someone like just brand new to remove all sort of controversy, or it is best to work with someone or a group of people that all the girls are probably familiar with? Give them what they want.
My
Regardless of
opinion
that.
is familiarity right now. Someone who has been with the program knows the players, because time is of utmost importance right now. If you're going to get somebody brand new, then it has to be somebody who has good experience and really know how to hit the ground running. And I'd hope
Yeah.
for the first instead of the latter, because the latter could also stumble. And worse, if a lot of the issues are not dealt with and removed, then we're going to go back through another problem. And remember, the latter part of the letter state that there may be no reggae girls if these things are not being met. So bringing in a new coach now is a very risky business, but I don't know how to respond to that one in terms of who is available, because that's something the JF would have to do, because Busby, I think, is still under investigation. I don't know. If it is proven that he's not guilty, then more than likely you'll see him come back in, because everybody else is interim coach until that is cleared up, which is of utmost importance for us to remember. And then now you have the likes of Aaron Donaldson outside there, and even a Hugh Menzies, if you can stimulate them to get back in the program. And those two, I think, would have been extremely good possibilities to just get everything running smooth and up and going well. But if they are not available and Busby is still under investigation and can't come in, then the only other option is for somebody new to come in. And then, there's a very important part now for the federation to play in terms of getting everybody on the same ground, the same level, the same direction, everything, and have a very smooth and amicable run towards the qualifiers, because we have no time to waste. We are going into Mexico to go play against Mexico, USA, Costa Rica, Panama, Haiti. It's going to be a rough ride. So we need all this time to be utilized properly in terms of our preparation. It's critical.
Yeah. Okay. So I like that option. I like that option because the you need somebody familiar. All right.
Yeah.
But I think the familiar persons, again, if the assertions are correct, it would appear that some of the again, the quote unquote influencers and the familiar persons, there is some sort of connection, which I think is what is probably the hardest thing to deal with. It may be the best thing, because here's what, at this given time, I think one of the best persons to do it would be Alan Donaldson, because he's familiar with the girls.
Yeah.
And he's a very good coach, because he's a very good coach. Good person to do it, to take over. But I'm beginning to wonder, with all that is happening, you're breaking up a little. Didn't hear that.
I think he's liked by all the girls, so that's a big plus right there.
Yes. So I think he's a good option. He's liked by the girls. I'm wondering though if his 2020 statement about the federation would work against him, and the letter that he wrote, or we just get over that for the purpose of this campaign.
That's a big important question. And another thing, because by the JFF, from what we know a lot of the inside school, but from what we know, because we can only speak about what we know on the surface.
Yeah.
So as to whether he can put it behind and do an effective job is up to him to say. That, but he would be my first choice. Because somehow I kind of have a gut feeling that he will not return based on what really happened.
Man, coach, the internet, I don't know. The internet is so bad. You're making a good point, but it keeps like going out and going in. Look like you're in it.
I think because I might be from.
Yeah, maybe because you're away from the. No, it's bad.
Right.
People are hearing.
When I have the headset in, when I have in the set, you can hear me better, but it's like.
Yeah, we're not hearing you. I don't know if it's possible. You remember the last time when you and I spoke, you're in a nice spot. If you have not refurbished the house, you can go back to that spot. No. Or try about the headset or something. We're not hearing. No. All right, still not hearing your code. So see if you can put back in your headphones if you need to, and and then we can do that. So given if it is familiar, somebody who the girls are familiar with, right? You have to look at Lauren Donaldson because he's also a good coach. My only concern is how do you deal with the statements that he made previously, and how do you deal with the fact that, he had left the program because of an issue with the GFF and the other coach. He just took side. How do you deal with that? Is there a place for reconciliation with the federation, and how the federation manages that, seeing that during those times in 2020, the discussion was about the incompetence, unprofessionalism, and lack of integrity with the federation. How do you move on from there without resolving those issues? If you use someone from that. But the truth is, that is the best option. Who are the girls familiar with? Do you give them who they want? And a lot of people who are talking now, let me ask you this. If the boys in the team say they want any one of the coaches to return, some of us would not agree. Some of us would not agree. At the end of the day, let me tell you this. All of you who talking, including me, there is an inherent bias that people have towards who they like and prefer. So at the end of the day, if you like a particular coach, you're going to have a bias towards that coach. Go ahead, coach, and see if we're hearing you. Yeah, I can't understand where football have so many problems and distractions. Every time we look like we're going to achieve something, it's problem after problem. I still believe, listen, I have a confidence that this is going to galvanize like the players. And I said it today in a case for them. I think deep within themselves, and the letter, there are some things that I don't agree with in the letter, but they also said in the letter that they believe that they can qualify for a next World Cup. They clearly stated that. They said, as players, our dedication has been unquestionable. We have shown unwavering resilience throughout this season, and we believe we have the requisite talent to take our country to another World Cup. These girls are confident that they can do it. So I have no doubt that they will galvanize the necessary resolve to get the job done in the end. As bad as this look right now, I still believe that the team is good enough to qualify. Yes, coach, let's see if we're hearing you now.
Any better now? Can you hear me much better without
Yes, we're hearing
echo?
you now, loud and clear.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And also, Freddie Butler was telling you hi. I missed his.
Freddie,
Oh, yeah.
he's still
Coach,
there?
Coach Butler. He's still in the chat somewhere. Where are you, Coach Butler? He had a big up yourself. He says, Mr. Edward.
Oh, big up Butler.
Yeah.
Tell him
He
I'd
sent a
love to sit
super.
down and chat with him, man.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right, go
man.
ahead. Maybe he will come on to the program. You never can tell. He likes to surprise me and just jump on. Let's see. Yes, he
Yeah.
probably just got home and eating some ackee and saltfish right now. So
Oh,
yeah,
boy,
but you
I
were saying
envy him.
something. Yeah, you were saying something before the internet got disconnected. So yes,
I don't remember. What was it about again? We were talking about, I don't remember.
About the coach and the familiar.
Right, the familiarity
Yeah.
with the coaches. And I was saying to you that the time doesn't exist for that. But if we have to go that route, then we have to go that route. Because one of the things I was saying at the time is I'm not sure, with Lorne Donaldson, with what had happened before, prior to all of this with the last campaign, if he's going to be willing to step back into it. Because I think he parted ways, in a very disappointing and upsetting manner. So we're not sure.
All right. So
But I do
well,
believe he's maybe one of the best options.
I have credible information that he would take. Lorne Donaldson is willing to take the job if presented to him.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That would be
So
good for the girls, and that might be the best option.
yeah. So that is it. But
That's interesting.
yeah. I know that. I mean, like I said, I have credible information that he's willing to. But you see, the thing is, I mean, this is it's such a tough thing, because one of the issues. No, one of the issues are Carl Blake. I know that initially he didn't. Well, if he wanted it, when Vin Blaine got it, he never applied for it. So even if he wanted it, he did not,
Oh,
because remember, the job was available for people to apply. He did not apply, and he knew there was a vacant position after the situation arose with Busby. For whatever reason,
right.
no, he wants it. And I'm not going to get into that. I'm not in his mind. All right. So I agree with you. One, it's untenable. Coach Vin Blaine, he must be compensated, get somebody familiar. How the GFF going to work that out, what systems they're going to put in place, then that's it. I think one of the big issues I also have is, how do we construct a national football team with a person in an ambassador role that gives them some level of authority within that team, and how that works in the dynamics of coaches and players? Like, if we don't have carefully and precisely crafted statements to manage how people operate, how does this fit in? I've never heard of it in any other nation where a national program has an ambassador over the program. I may not be exposed to many nations, but from what I've read and where I've been, I don't see that. I think it's a good gesture, but how do we put the framework in place to ensure that everyone knows their roles and responsibilities and we don't interfere in what is not ours to interfere in? In other words, the president of the federation, for example, can't put a player in the team, can't independently go and get a coach if there's a committee that does that. How do we manage these things and ensure that we have systems and guidelines?
Is that a question for me?
Yeah, I'm just like, I mean, you listen, you're a master builder and architect. You must know. Yeah.
First of all, we're going to touch on here. You're touching on an area there where we're not even sure if it's her. You understand? This is what Vin has said to us, and this is something I do. That time disbelieve in Vin, but I'm not going to touch it because I'm somebody who like to speak of facts. I don't make second story speak off it. I listen to you, but I'm not going to elaborate on it because unless I've seen it or heard it myself, I leave it alone. Like a Cuddy Walsh with that one, the great leave alone.
Okay.
But if it is true though, it's a situation.
No, I'm not even. The truth is, yeah, go ahead.
There's also the indication that the JFF has to step in and deal with that one, and how you deal with it. But I don't know how it really goes, what is what, and I'm not gonna I'm not going down that road to that alone.
Excellent. Right. Let me listen. Let me say to people, I believe that for the last campaign, whether financially or just as a person being around the program, the Marley's position in the team was very instrumental and critical because it was her involvement that got like you Menzies into the team, and that made a huge difference. It helped us to qualify for the World Cup, and it must be appreciated. And I do believe that, and that's why I'm saying that I would love to see the influence of Usain Bolt, for example, being used to leverage certain things with our football. I think it's there is a way to make it work without it interfering in any of the day-to-day happenings of the game. That is my position. So I think there's a place for a role like an ambassador, like what the title is. But all I want to see is that it should be made public what are the guidelines that directs this process, so everyone knows what they're supposed to do, and no coach in the future should ever feel like they're persons connected to the program and they're outsiders influencing it. Because everybody knows this is how we operate. This is how this person operates, that person operates. These are their roles and their responsibilities. I think until we have that, we're going to have all of these issues. And I think sometimes I find with our country is that we put people in positions without giving them guidelines to operate by.
I'm going to say something that's very maybe delicate and touching, but I'm going to say it. And that is, if what you're saying or what is true to the matter is that the women's program did not go to the World Cup last campaign and was not in contention to go to the World Cup. The JFF, the fighting to hold on to it. You understand what I'm saying? Because
that's a good point. If they did not qualify,
if the truth of the matter is that some of these people are fighting to hold on to this team now are some of the same people who signed off for the women's senior program to be scrapped a couple of years ago. I was in the program heavily working at the time and was super disappointed when that happened because a lot of the senior girls never had a future football. Curious to so coach, where do we go on here? But now that the team has qualified, right, and looking and qualify again, the interests are popping from all over the place now to get back into this program, to claim the program, to this, to that, and all of these things. So let's say, for argument's sake, Vin is right about Sidella Marley. Sidella Marley helped to pick the program up off her own. She helped to push it. Mark, I spoke to him and he had said that it had started before. I didn't remember that, and yes, but she still played an important part in it, right? She helped to push finance, help the JFF. We mustn't discredit the JFF totally because the JFF was heavily involved in financing also, and we must give credit where credit is due. But the question still remains that if we had not qualified for the World Cup the last time out and looking like a qualifier again now, everybody out there who's fighting to hold on to the women's program because the women's program has been pushed aside for so many years.
Yeah, good point. Somebody made that point on the show. Somebody made that point on the show today that, I mean, nobody wanted the women's program for the most part.
Precisely.
But the only
remember
issue
for
I have
about
with
5 years, I did it.
Yes. Yeah. Right. And I think they were saying that it was dormant. I think even this they call him the leader, Maxwell, was on and he was saying the same thing. It was dormant and then they came on. But at the same time though, they even when the program was dormant, the truth is there are persons like you and the Vin and there are coaches and people who are heavily involved in putting their own personal monies into the football, into female football. So though it was dormant,
thank you very much.
People forget that what women football is in Jamaica is because of people like you and the Vin Blaines and the Marion Guards and the Xavier Gilbert and the Andrew Price. Some of you guys who are using your own monies to support the programs that you led without the JFF giving any money to it. I think people I think Sherwin Williams at one point was a sponsor of the Women's League, and it was Sherwin Williams and the club owners are really not even the clubs, because there you were Barbican. It was really seen as Charles Edwards' team, Vin Blaine's team at Harborview. That was really how it was. And the GC Foster team was the college team and the youth team.
But Omar, although it was seen that way, it still was a club team, and we can't take the association away from the club because quite a few of these supported the female team, and even Barbican executive supported our team also. So, we can't take the credit away from the club. We were in charge, and we went over and did what we could to keep football alive and going. And people like Elaine Walker-Brown, you can't forget her because she
Elaine Walker-Brown, that is true. Yes. Danny Beckford in St. Anne.
It's Danny Beckford too, yes. Yeah. And some of these people, they cry all the time because they're used to support inside the federation. Can you remember, when I came out as head coach of the women's senior program, is when it was scrapped. But I never had a female team after that, the senior team after that. And until just before Sidella came in, or about when Sidella came, because there was no senior team before that. As to why that happened, nobody can ever answer that. All we could hear is that they don't have any money to run the program. And I've been preaching from then that the women's program could qualify for the work much easier than the men's program, because we, this side of the globe, had a great opportunity because of the way the competition was set up on the qualifying rounds, and the route to World Cup was easier for us than the men's program. So we have felt the brunt of it. All the names that you have called, and many more from the Portmore and these clubs, Waterhouse, everybody. We fought hard, and we Olympic Gardens, all of these clubs, and a lot of these clubs fought with little and nothing, and coming from coaches and management. So we know what it's like.
I like this statement. No one cared about the desert until oil was found. Won't stop
Thank
the
you very much. Whoever said that is spot on. Spot on.
No, please, his head is already big. If you tell him that it's going to get bigger, I will be have an explosion on the show, sir.
Well, it deserves to have a bigger head. Just don't make it explode, please. But he's right
Yeah,
though.
yeah, yeah. They're saying the audio. You see, they're saying the audio is yeah. So there is, yeah. So I hope,
The
like,
audio is bad.
yeah, it's very the internet, because the internet seemed to be very
Oh, up and down.
up and down, right? So
Yeah,
I
good
don't know.
internet. The good in Omar.
Yeah, I don't know because if you're using your Wi-Fi and your data
Yeah.
is on, that could be it. Maybe I don't know, but yeah. But let's see how best we can go. But yeah. But I do hope, coach, that, like I said, I would want this to be resolved. I think it needs to be resolved this week. Um, they need to resolve it this week, and the GFF. I think by now the GFF should have spoken publicly, addressed the matter, and made whatever move they needed to. I think they have allowed it to linger on for too long, and that is there
Well,
should be a
this is how the JFF operates, huh? Because remember with the Busby situation, how long they took to get a coach in place.
yeah. Yeah, there you go. So we need, I think it needs to be dealt with. Like, and just stop all the talk. The longer they allow this to linger on, is the more, I think, pressure is being put on the girl, is the more the outside influencers name, or whomever they are, they get dragged through this, whether rightfully or not. The longer it lingers, it is the more names get called up and suggestions are made that could affect people's desire to be involved in the process. So I hope that yeah, I hope that it can be resolved soon. A couple of persons, Michael Garden is asking, does Charlie want the job? Big coach that.
Nope.
No, I don't think.
Nope.
No,
Nope.
no,
Nope. 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 Nope.
no.
Nope. Nope.
Coach Edwards have nothing to do with Jamaica's football from a national level. You'll see him at Barbican, however.
Yeah. Plus, I'm not qualified. I said I've not done my CONCACAF license, so I wouldn't be qualified. Not good enough.
Okay. All right. There you go. The listen, man.
I enjoy what I'm doing.
Okay, it must be legal trouble. Is there any actual case, or was it only allegations? All right. I you know what? I think whether it's allegations or not, I I don't know in principle how this could be overlooked when you're dealing with when the
Omar, these things can be overlooked. There's no case
yeah,
at the moment.
even
It's
if it's allegations.
allegations, but
Yeah,
this nature of allegation has to be investigated. And while it's being investigated, the right thing to do is to suspend the coach because it's a serious allegation.
yeah,
Right? If things spill over into the team, you could find a big bust up, similar to what's going on. So it has to be investigated, and while it's being investigated, because if he was around a male team, then maybe they would allow him to continue. Because of the nature of the allegation, and he's still around female players, he has to be removed immediately while the investigation is taking place. So it's not a case yet. If the investigations prove to be correct, what has been said, then it will be so that everything would drop, and then whatever court of law or whatever lawsuits he can follow up with that. But until then, he has to be removed from the program.
Yeah, I think so, and I think listen, and and you're absolutely right. But outside of that, here is another big issue. You don't want it to be at this stage, and say, for example, you made the decision. Oh, come back. You're in Mexico, and then something happens. Like you don't.
Precisely.
So I don't think that can be an option. No, maybe in the future it could be considered. What I know is that in most fields in Jamaica, or let me say that in the United States, I would find it hard, given these allegations, to see him get a job in the same kind of field, dealing with females in the United States. I think our country,
Precisely.
yeah, but in Jamaica, I think we have normalized certain things that even if to us nothing is wrong with that, because a man. So in Jamaica, you may be able to get away with it, but I don't know, even if you were the coach of the Jamaica team, given those things, and you travel certain places, that's going to be a big media thing. And I think some media people even question the girls.
Agreeing.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm not going to totally agree. I'm not going to totally agree with that in Jamaica. In Jamaica, it has become a big issue also, and I think it needs to become a big issue and be respected on that level. But you're right. In the US, it's a far more serious issue than in Jamaica. Because, and even in England and some of these first world countries, these are big no stuff. And we in Jamaica, a lot, and I think a lot of people keep quiet about it.
Yeah, man. The people said that you're saying some great things, but the audio, they're struggling with the audio. Hopefully, let's see if the internet can come back. Yeah. The internet can come back. No, what I was saying is, I don't know. Man, we need to get the audio sorted out. Whoa. But what I say is that it would be hard, because I can just imagine, right? Somebody saying close out and come back on. Thank you, DJ Dreja.
Is it any
so
better
see, we
now?
can
Can
sign
you
out.
hear me any better?
It's still, I think it is. There's like a glitch in it. I don't know how close you are to the actual internet box. Maybe if you get closer to it, it can work. So let's see if we can try that and then come back in. So just sign out.
Internet here is a mesh system that works very good. Let me sign out and sign back. I'm going to turn off the data
And then see if we can fix it for the last portion. There we go. So I think if he were to come back, just imagine after a game, the coach is going to be interviewed. You're going to interview the coach and you're going to interview the players. Problem, the kind of questions that are going to come up. I know certain medias, they will not allow, they're going to ask the players. You can imagine they walk up to some of the players and say, listen, how do you feel playing for this coach? Do you feel comfortable around him? Like all of these things, so it goes away from football. So until it is completely settled, whatever that is, I think he has to wait it out. And that is why I think in that case, maybe Lon Donaldson is the person that ought to be looked at if we're talking about someone familiar with the girls and with the program. Because getting a new person right now is going to be a problem, number one. And will the girls be okay if the federation chose someone that they don't agree with? Like, how does that work? For some of you out there, tell me, who should select the coach? Should the leadership select somebody the players want? Or should the players adjust to the person selected? Let's see if we can get coach back on. All right?
Yeah. Any better now?
100%.
I turn off the data. So apparently it's the data. So next time I'll leave the data off.
There you go.
My
All right,
apologies to everybody.
all right. Okay, wonderful. Right, you're saying that in Jamaica it has become a more serious issue now. Think that's
Yeah,
the
man.
last thing.
Because yeah, I think a lot more women are stepping forward and expressing what has been happening. So it's getting better and better for us here. But I do know, like in America or in England, it's not accepted. Like for instance, when I do a camp in the USA, there's absolutely no player, female or male, allowed to come to my room. I don't. I set my own precedent. If I'm going to speak to especially a female player, it has to be in a public setting where other people are around, in the lobby, where other coaches or other players are around. And you can't find me isolated in a room with any female player. It's just a big no-no because it's a very serious allegation over there. And let me tell you, if some of these players can formulate a good enough story against you, even though you're innocent, you could end up in prison.
Yeah. I gotta tell you something that I learned, right? So do these leadership conferences, and one of the things I learned, they say that your character is who you are when no one else is watching. And right? They say that your character, you control your character. Your reputation
Of course.
follows you. And I
Definitely.
remember when I did it, they taught me this example. They said when it comes down to your reputation, you don't actually have to do something wrong for your reputation to be affected. And I said, really? They say, yes, listen, a strong enough accusation can destroy your reputation. For
That's right.
example, and this is an example, they said, I am a pastor, and at 3 o'clock, they see me coming out of a house belonging to a single woman. Right? Mark you, I could have just gone there to fix a AC and headed back home. But 3 a.m. in the morning, someone sees me coming out of a single woman's home, right, with a shirt over my back. Right? It goes out that he's coming from a woman's house and all of these things. Right? In other words, I didn't do anything wrong, but the reputation is affected. My character says I'm innocent of all charges. My reputation is that what are you doing?
Amar, I'm
Yeah.
dying. Amar, I'm dying with laughter here now because at 3 a.m., what kind of AC you could be fixing?
But of course.
At 3 a.m. You see, 3 a.m. is a key there, although it's an assumption, but at 3 a.m. with your shirt over your back walking out of a single woman's house and AC don't fix at them hours in a brethren.
No. But that is it. But here's the thing. So though I may not have done anything wrong, because what I did was not wise, my reputation gets affected by it, though my character may still be intact. So the point I'm making, that though his character may be intact, his reputation has been affected. And because of that, it's going to be very difficult.
And it will follow him. It's going to follow him for a long time. Because there's that big question sign over his head right now.
you see these people, you see what the people put out already? Breaking news, man was seen leaving a single woman house at 3 a.m.
It's you put it out, Omar. It's you put it out. It's better it is you're going to remove some demon from the single woman and so exhausted, you throw your shirt over your back and leave.
So there you go. So it is similar to what you're saying, right? It's similar to what you're saying, which is you don't. I do that. So part of one of my things is don't counsel with a single person in any close-up space with you and them.
Yeah, exactly.
And in this time,
let me tell you, at Barbican for me, and every player can attest to that for me. I don't date my players. I don't go out with my players. This is a male-female situation, right? And Jamaica is such a narrow minded society that I could go out with a player because of a birthday situation or anything like that, and next thing you know, I'm having something with the player. So my rule is that I don't go out with any players, none.
Yeah.
If a group of players are out and I pass by, fine. But one of the things I do in situations like those, I don't carry a player to the environment, and I don't take home a player from the environment. It doesn't matter how difficult it is for you to get home. I am not the one taking you home. I'd rather pay you to fare to go home or give the captain. And I usually, money issues go to my captain.
Yeah.
Right? Because let me tell you, females, very sensitive, very emotional. Men have the emotions of women. And when they, like for instance, this is where it plays a negative role for you. When they're upset with you, these situations are going to come up. And then whenever you're coming down hard on them or you're not playing them, you're going to hear your favorites in the team and boy, when they go out with this one, or you do that with that one. So they don't. And every male who comes into my team to work with me, they get the right act to them. You can't be any player. And if you find that you're young and you're interested in one of the players, I have no problem with it, but you must quit the coaching staff because no coach is going to be there dating a player, because what is going to happen, you're going to create a division within the team. So these are the things you're cautious about, and some of the allegations from this young lady, although they could be false, because there's stories out there of people who have been accused, and then a couple of years later you heard that nothing happened like that. So you have to be careful of these allegations also. But if some of these things are true, then I can't feel sorry for him. I can't.
Yeah. People, the AC thing was hypothetically speaking. don't squeeze out the life out of it. All right. Don't squeeze. They're squeezing the life out of my AC example. You understand me?
Yeah. That's why I'm saying you set up yourself.
Yeah. So yeah. So that is the thing. So like I said, I think Lauren Donaldson could be a good option, if they can, if they can get past the statements of the past, and do it. The other thing is that this is not like you're not going to have whomever is there now. They're all gone. So I am. Because I am thinking, and this is probably the part, I don't know how these coaching things work, when you are being given a job, aren't you supposed to bring your own staff? Because what I think that happened is that, what I think that happened is that when Coach Blaine went in, there were persons from the previous staff that were still there. So at some point, some of those people went out and his people came in. And I think that also created some tensions.
Right. I think so, from what I've heard.
Yeah. So that could be the next thing. Like, and these things we need to learn from. If I'm getting a job, I need to get my own stuff. I'm not, and if I want to keep some of those, I can do that, but I don't want anybody to be given to me. You can suggest, but I must choose my stuff.
I think what happens, Amar, in our situation, our environment, which is not professional, because we're talking about a trillion industry like in Europe, where coaches are highly paid and they travel with their own staff. So let's Liverpool hiring Klopp. He comes with his staff. So when you hire Klopp, you don't hire Klopp alone. You hire Klopp and his entire coaching staff, his trainer, whatever. If the club has somebody who is interested in them, we will select them. Or if where he's leaving from, one of his staff members decides to stay there because he has no full authority for these staff. It's just his selected staff he can work with. Unfortunate for us in Jamaica, we don't have that sort of environment. A lot of us are because the salary that we get is not good enough to carry us on a day-to-day basis as a single salary. most national coaches have to be outside working several other jobs. So therefore, you have to select who you can find. And also, a lot of times, the federation
Coach, they're
will make
saying,
suggestions
oh
to
geez,
you.
I don't know what is going on with the thing tonight. See, they're saying that they're getting a huge feedback
Again,
and they don't know if it's a
oh
headset
God,
and the audio issues come back again. Oh my lord. So I don't know.
you can hear me now?
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes, hearing you. All right. In the meantime, for the persons asking about the U20 teams,
Any better now?
very good. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So it sounded
Tonight
clear.
is not my night with the mic, man.
Yes. So in the meantime, for the
Okay.
persons about the U20 teams, right? The squad has not been selected yet. I'm understanding that they're going to be playing some games, and then around the third week in May, some of the players from overseas will start coming in to be merged with those who are here. But the squad has not been selected yet, for those of you who are asking. And for those of you who are asking about this Mo Mohammed's guy who says he, you see on some feed where he's employed to the JFF as an administrator, nobody in the JFF knows the person, or there's no position in there that he has. So that seemed to be like somebody using something on the social media. But go ahead, coach. You're back. You're sounding very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I was speaking about was the iron of your entire staff, your whole entourage. In Jamaica, that
Right.
doesn't really happen because we are low income workers in Jamaica because coaches, most national coaches' salary cannot carry them apart from maybe national men's senior coach, but most of the other coaches are getting a salary that you still have to subsidize it to live,
Okay.
right? So your coaching staff is who you can get. So, like, let's say, for instance, they reappointed me. I would have to go and look who is available to work with me, and then my selection process would be somebody who has similar vision to me, or somebody who can take instructions from me in terms of executing. Because I wouldn't want somebody with a different philosophy than to oppose me. Because remember, now I'm the head coach. My philosophy is
Yes.
what goes into the game. And you have to help me to execute what I want, not what you want. We can sit down and dialogue and get this on parallel, and then I can maybe pick some of what you say and use it, but not to come in and dictate to me. If not, you'd be the head coach and not me. Would have to reverse the roles.
Okay. 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 What about like physical trainer, masseuse? Do you bring in those persons as well?
You can if you want, but it doesn't suit you in Jamaica because, with, as I said before, you don't walk with your entourage, and these people don't affect your game per se. So once the JFF has qualified and good enough people in these roles, then you use them. If by chance going down the road you realize that one of these people are not executing properly, then you can go to the federation and ask for a change.
Yeah. Okay. 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 All right. That sounds good. Listen, I hope for a speedy and amicable solution to the problem. Listen, like for Coach Blaine, I hope, whatever the outcome is, he's compensated. Um, and when one door closed, sometimes another one is opened. And I hope and I
That's
believe
what
that
bothers me, That's what bothers me. I mean, he was in a job in Bermuda, and I hope that whatever is done,
Grenada,
that he will
Grenada,
compensate. No, he had left Grenada.
huh? No man, he was
He
in.
was in. He had left
Oh, he had
Grenada.
left Grenada and
Yeah,
was
I
in
think he was in
Bermuda.
Bermuda. Right. And remember when we were going to play against Bermuda, he said he knew all the players, and or was it? I could be wrong, but I
It
think
was
he had left
Grenada, man.
Grenada.
It is Grenada. He was in Grenada. because he knew the
I'll
Grenadians. So
double
when we
check.
went to Grenada, he was saying that. I mean, some persons were saying that there was a condescending statement that was made because he knew the Grenadians.
Oh, right,
Yeah.
right. But he was, I think he had left Grenada and he was somewhere else. It may not have been Bermuda. It could have been somewhere else. But I don't think he was in Grenada anymore.
Okay.
But hopefully he'll be compensated fully and that he can pick up the pieces and move on in another direction, another job somewhere, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. So that's the hope, and that at the end of this, there'll be a very good PR campaign from the young ladies. Yeah, to kind of paint a different picture. I think up until this point, it seemed like it was a seamless team. The Reggae boys, we now have a level of insanity sometimes that is associated with it over the years, but we have never really had these things with the girls. I think this is probably the first, like, wow, and maybe everyone is in shock. So I hope by very soon there'll be a good PR campaign to repaint the beautiful picture that the girls program, the women's program is. Yeah, somebody said
Yeah.
that he was
Well, all of
in
this
the Virgin Islands before.
Virgin
Or
Islands, but he had
Yeah.
moved on from Grenada.
Okay.
But Omar, the truth is, time is of utmost importance right now, and I don't even want to give them a week to resolve it. It has to be done now because there's a lot of planning that needs to take place. When you look at the timetable, July is nowhere from here. It's not
Yeah.
like we have 6, 7 months to prepare the team. July is around the corner. We haven't even put a plan in place for camp set or even look at who the players the team can play in practice games or whether camp can be held or whatever. We need a coach in place right now to start.
Yeah.
No coach like last minute planning, just like the last campaign, the last qualifiers, picking up the team and actually use the 2 games as practice games to get to know the players. This round coming up, there won't be that opportunity. If you try to use 2 games in this round to get to know players and to sort out team, you might be on the losing end.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, what can I say? Well, coach, man, let me tell you, it's always good to get your balance, insight. I really appreciate your feedback, and your
Not a
thoughts.
problem.
And yes, it's a pity that the internet was so dodgy.
My apologies to all the listeners. My bad. Sorry about that. But maybe some of the bad feedback has been coming over from the football issues. But anyways, we hope you got enough and everybody's satisfied. And thanks for having me.
All the while, coach. Always good hearing you. Hope to see you back at Constant Spring very soon.
Hear you. Good night to you, Omar. Good night to all the listeners. And please, everybody stay safe and blessed.
Yeah, man. All right. Blessings, coach. Thanks again. Well, good night.
You're welcome. Night.
Yeah. All right. That was Coach Charles Edwards with us. All right. So let me take some of your comments. And then, this isn't the first for the girls. They threatened not to play in 2019 if they did not get paid. Lawrence Silva bashed the JFF and was temporarily banned, but the girls were always united. Okay. Yeah. Tennessee Lewis. So if we line like most people been saying, the outside influence with the truth must come to the public. Okay. Listen again with the with the U20s. Let me just say that my understanding is that this is not the final squad. Other people may have other information because there are persons from overseas who have been invited that will be coming later in May to join up with this team. All right. Those players are not able to come because they are in competition. They are professional players. That is my understanding up to today. There is a group of players that will be playing a series of match, right? And it is from those games that they will select the final set to join up, say, I don't know, with 10 or 11 players. I don't know how many. But what I will say, it is good that we are seeing some of these U20 players playing in the Premier League and looking well, right? We have been going through some of the names, and we can. Yeah, we need Sir P if you check out who are going. Big up yourself, right? But we have Christopher Pearson, right? We can go through some of the names and probably admit that we have Zeminis is a next good one right there. Who should be there? So we have some good players. I think Duncan McKenzie is a quality player who should be there. I think we got on some of those names already. Yeah. Yeah, man, a lot of the players not coming until the third week in May. You have, so I have Pearson, I have Zeminis, I have Mackenzie. Give me some more of the names, people, who are locally playing right now. Devontae Campbell. What's his name? Barkley. I think his name is Jerome Barkley. Lamont Rochester, yes. Aldridge. Makwan Aldridge. Is Tyrese Harrison is in it? Are you sure about that, Dre? Anyways, or did he make the final cut? Like the final 30 that is there? And was Kevin is Kevin Wilson in it? Are you're just suggesting those names? Because there's a 30-man roster, you know. Are you saying that you know that they are in it? Are you just assuming that they are a part of the 30? Tell me, you know, Dre. So these are some of the names. There may be some more. I think the goalkeeper from Harborview, what his name? Bennett, I think his name is. I think they have. I think the Harborview. Oh, the core, in his opinion. Okay, Dre, I get you. Okay. Oh, didn't see that part. Okay, Whisper. Bicknell, that's the next Phoenix player. Alexander Bicknell or Xander Bicknell. And Whisper. Yeah, and then Dre says Wilson. Man of Steel. And Gavin Burton from Harborview. I think Prince Christie, that's his name, from Mount Pleasant. I think he's in it too, you know. And management. So they have some good players, and like I said, that there are some players who are playing in top leagues across the world. There's a guy named Powell. Jamali Powell is his name. That player, I hear that is quality. Kamali Powell. Yes. That player here he has been displaying some real quality. Big up yourself, Sir Powell, former Cornwall College player. He was in England, and then went to Germany, back in Jamaica. Yeah, let's see what the birds are up to. Hey, yeah. So but yeah, I think if you have these names and then you add some more players on it, I suspect that this other Cavaliers player, because yeah. Yeah, let me see. Cleo Clark. I don't know if all of these, because Cleo Clark and Richard Henry are signed playing for Cavaliers this week too. One of the leading goal scorers in the DaCosta Cup. Yeah. Yeah, so we should have a good team. The players are playing football. I like the coach. I like the coach. Marcel Gill. I think he's one of the young smart coaches who deserves an opportunity. Um, don't know who will be like a technical director over him, but I think he's a very smart and astute coach. It for years now, since he has been at Waterhouse, every single year they have been in the finals in his time, and he had similar success. The schoolboy, you know, um, level. So want to big him up because he 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 knows what he's doing, and you have to reward people for the success. You understand me? You have to reward them for the success. You can't have people doing the work and then you don't reward them. So I'm glad that he's being rewarded, for the success that he has been having at the schoolboy level and also at the Premier League level. Kind of funny because I don't know if any Waterhouse players. Kind of funny because he's a coach, but there are no Waterhouse players. Yeah. So they're playing Arnett Gardens tomorrow at 3:30 in a practice game. Yeah, man. We know that unseen. We're trying to figure out some of the players that, yeah, them players that kind of make it, they have made it, they are going to be in it, so we can start watching them in the league. I know Christopher Pearson is one, Zeminis, Duncan McKenzie, Campbell, Rochester, Aldridge. I don't know, give me some more names. Percy, you're not a fan of Marcel Gill, tell us why. Hey, let me tell you this. You're for real though, Dre, this is a good shout out. You see, Coach Ludlow Bernard. We have some very smart coaches, right? I think Ludlow Bernard is also one of those. Just like Miguel Coley. In fact, listen, can you imagine if you had like a U20 team, right? Where you had like Marcel Gill and a Miguel Coley. That would be a nice combination, both of them to work together with a crop of young players. I'd love to see that. Could also include a Ludlow Bernard. I don't know if you could have 3 coaches, but how coaching is going right now, you could have them working together. I think like Miguel Cole and Marcel Gill would be a very good combination. I don't know that they get along, but I just think based on some of the things that they have done, I would give Lenny Hyde. I would give you. I know Fresh God is saying Lenny Hyde. I would say give Lenny Hyde a younger team. I feel like Lenny Hyde is very good with, like, you see, we're 17 and under. That's Lenny Hyde territory. Not that he can't coach all the players, but I love that age group for Lenny Hyde, like 17 and under. But again, you have coaches also like Meron Garden, Meron Garden has really been there. Meron Garden won. I mean, check what Garvey Masia has been doing. And then you go and check what Meron Garden. Oh yeah, you have the youth from Portmore. What's his name again? Wedderburn? Wedderburn, his name is the right back from Portmore. Hear that him giving Zimenez a run for him money. But Meron Garden was successful when he was at Lennon. He goes to on the female side. He goes to Garvey Massey and he wins the Da Costa Cup. Wins under 16. So he too is a very good coach. So I wouldn't have a problem if Meron Garden coach at under 17 and he has a good group of people around him, because it's a youth level and he has proven that he is, a good coach. His assistant, who is Dane Chambers, Dane Chambers is actually Meron Garden's assistant at Garvey Maceo, and Dane Chambers is the one who has the under 17 girls. Come on, put your hands together for the under 17 girls. I mean, they are, yes, people. They have gone through, and they go up against the United States of America at 3-3. All right. Tomorrow, Colin Wedderburn is a player from Portmore. They go up against the United States of America tomorrow. And listen, call them naive, call them crazy, call them whatever you want, but they believe that they can beat the United States. Coach Donald Davis from Titchfield. Okay, Donald Davis. Okay, from Titchfield. First coach in Jamaica to implement female football in Jamaica. Wow. Didn't know that. Thanks for that, Ian Miller. Donald Davis. Need to talk to him, Ian Miller. Need to tell him to link I Am Sure Sports and the number there. And come tell us what was that like. Yeah. Yeah, man. There you go, Peso. So Dane Chambers went to the under 17 World Cup. Unseen Sports. Don't give us no name about man named Breadback, man. What kind of argument that, man? Give us the correct name or you don't put any name in there about Breadback. The ball on the name of Breadback, man. Yeah. All right. So I saw a question. It's tough environment for them, so I'll hope for this. I'm hoping the local coaches get a qualification. I feel bad for them sometimes. There seems to be a serious lack of belief in them. It's tough environment. Yeah. Listen, here's what I'll say. All right. So Roger, this is a very appreciated question. What makes a man a good coach management? All right. So we're talking about football coaches. All right. His ability to communicate in such a way that the players are able to understand and execute what he is teaching. His ability to get the players to be the best and to do the best with their talent, their bodies, and their minds. So if you can get the best from them physically, mentally, and technically, you're a good coach. The ability to build a team and to be able to coach that team in the two facets of the game, that is defending and attacking. All right? You can add to that in position, out of position if you want. If you can do that, that makes you a good coach. All right? Does it make you better than some other coaches? Maybe not, because you'll always have better coaches. And so that's it for me. Maybe you can tell me what your definition of a good coach is. I think sometimes though we and I like what you said. I think Michael said it earlier, that we have a thing like all of a sudden nobody in Jamaica can coach, and I don't like when we move to those extreme, right? We are very harsh on our own. So let me give you this. If our local track and field coaches can stay in Jamaica and prepare our girls and our boys to be world champions, to win world record leading times, we can find football coaches in Jamaica that can produce world-class talent. I believe that. We have produced world-class boxers, world-class sprinters, and people in all different kind of field events. Educationally, competing against everyone in the world, we have produced it. Spelling bee, we have done it. We have done it in so many things. So I still believe that there are people in Jamaica who can coach football at a high level. All right? Miguel Coley built up. Miguel Coley didn't become a good coach when he went overseas. He became a better coach. Shamar Nicholson did not become a good footballer because he went overseas. He became a better footballer. Kaheem Paris did not become a good footballer because he went overseas. He is now a better footballer. So there are good coaches in Jamaica that probably if they're given the opportunity to go overseas, they will be better than they presently are. All right? Because they have worked with the youths who leave Jamaica and go in intercal or the college market, and they do well. A lot of our players, when they go in the college system, they leave Jamaican high schools and they go in the college system. They dominate and they outperform many of the footballers who develop their craft in the United States. So I think we have good coaches. We have 2 teams going in the CONCACAF tournament. Right? We're going to, and they're going to play against their Caribbean counterparts. Win them, it means that, like I said, that they need to improve, they need to grow, but we have good coaches who, if given the opportunity to go abroad, they can become better at what they do. That's me. Mannings, if we want to develop better players, we need to focus on coaching. Absolutely. Big up. Big point, Roger Grant. I think we agree on that. Coaching education, which is what I think they are doing right now. They are working on that. Good fields. Yes. Make connections in Europe to export players. That's what the Africans doing. All right. I think sometimes we're limiting ourselves, and on Thursday I'm going to have back Christopher Hill on the program. If you want, you can go and check out who he is. And because one of the things he's done is he has changed the concept that, because people believe like you only if you go in certain places and play, you are good. No. There are other good leagues that are played around the world. Europe is not the only place where good football is played in terms of club football. It is the most visible of all the leagues we watch. And that is it. So we shouldn't just, yes, get them into Europe, but Europe is not the only place that the players can go. And not every player will get into, I mean, recently, the league over there in the China Super League, I think it has crashed now. It had many star players. There were flocks of players, remember, because of the money, leaving the EPL, which is the top league. Even I think Ramirez was his name from Chelsea. What is that other little skit? Oscar. Pele from Southampton. Aruna what's his name? Aruna Natajvij or whatever his name was from oh geez, which team he used to play for? I think it was West Ham, you know. A lot of these players were going over there. Europe is not the only place. And again, people, some players, we have to understand some players. Some players are looking at sport as a way of helping their families out of poverty. They are not going to go to Europe to get $50 when they can go to Vietnam and get $50,000. It's not wise because most of these players, this is going to be their only source. So there are a lot of little factors to consider. All right. Manning is it that the coach is not taking it up on themselves to try go overseas on their off time to do internship to better, I guess, their coaching. But a lot of the coaches do that, you know. A lot of the coaches go away. A lot of them do courses. A lot of the coach. What I'm saying is because a lot of the Jamaican coaches, you know, have done a lot of the European courses that are done, you know. They just don't have the European license. But they have done a lot of the courses. When people come from like Barcelona and the Real Madrid and people come from Germany, they do the courses, a lot of them. But because they don't have, because what is messing us up, you know, because they don't have a European license, we think they are not good. But a lot of them have gone overseas and done the courses. Man, I heard Errol Stevens said that he was amazed at development and high standard that he saw when he went to Vietnam. Yeah, man. Then even Tier4 Bennett said it in his interview. I mean, Freddie Butler talked about Guadeloupe and the fact that when he was playing in Guadeloupe, because it's one of those French territories, he was also, because of playing in Guadeloupe, he got into the French league. He got into the French league. So maybe some of our players can look to Guadeloupe as a way of breaking into France. Or a Suriname, the league in Suriname, whatever it is, to see if they can break into the Dutch league. You can never tell. Or get down to Argentina. Understand me? Yeah, a lot of Brazilians went there. Yeah, Hulk also went there. Yep. Where else they can go, man? In South America League is very hard. Asian League, the outsiders they go for is top players in Europe. Yeah? Can go to Guadeloupe, man. I'm talking about. Remember, Tier4 Bennett played for the team in Angola, you know, and the man tell you they were the champions of Africa. Listen, you know that the Saudi Arabian League, what's the name of the former Barcelona player that was coaching down there? The man said that when he went down there, he didn't know that the league was so highly. He says the only thing, what's the name of him? He was coaching, he won the, even Santi Cazorla was down there playing. And when Santi Cazorla spoke, he said, listen, the pitches, the stadiums, the training facilities, the professionalism, he would compare it and say it's even better than Spain. It's just that they don't have as many quality players. And the pay, you know, down at them Irish places is very good. So Europe is not the only place. But it requires funding or yeah. Yep. All right, people. Coming up to the 2 hours. Football is the only sport I ever heard people talk about coaching license so much. I played American football. Nobody ever questioned someone coaching license. Where have you coached? Where have you coached? And what have you won? Yeah. Like, listen. People, you see, half of the people them who prepare the primary school kids back in the day, them have no coaching license to coach them. And we produce world beaters. I'm telling you. So the license is important. But a lot of these guys read and study material. They just have not done the European licensing. And I really believe that, like, a lot of them would pass it. A lot of people in the Caribbean who are coaching can pass the European level test. Probably better than some of them. Yeah, some of them, man, they have license can't coach, man. There was one who was in Jamaica recently with a pro license. He has disappeared from the scene. He was at a club in Jamaica. Nowhere to be found. Roger, you see, because traveling in the Caribbean is by air, it's very difficult. That is what stopped it, because there was a pro league. Guadeloupe Martinique reunion is a part of France. Their path to Europe is much easier for them. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That remember, Freddie Butler shared in the story that he played in Guadeloupe and then he got to France. So that's an option. Like the guy, and remember what the guy also said is that a lot of the teams in France, like the stadiums and stuff, the people in France support the Guadeloupe League. Understand me? But you know, some Jamaican, a lot of people don't want that because they want to leave Jamaica and go straight to Europe, and that the box all around the place when you can just probably look for one of those what they call quote unquote back doors. Eastern Europe is easier road to. Yeah, you go to Slovenia, Slovakia, Serbia, you know, those places. You understand me? See if you can find it. Xavi, I'm talking. Big up unseen. Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE. Yeah, man. League them. Listen. Right now, if you can go play, if you can go get a link for Qatar in a man. Yeah. Where was it? And wasn't Low over there making a whole heap of money and then he came back? Yeah. Of course, assisting the clubs have only 5 to 8 outside, and most times it's Europe and okay. All right. Thanks for that, Roger Grant. Thanks for that. All right, people, my alarm clock has just turned up. I have a special edition alarm clock that just said it's bedtime. Yeah. And I see a thing. Unseen. This is one of this comment take the show tonight. All right, people, look at England. Tell me the biggest English coach you know. Tell me in your opinion, in your following football in England. Let's use England. Tell me the top 10 coaches that you have seen. 5. I don't want to go 10. 5, and I guarantee you, none of you have one Englishman in it. The top 5 coaches in English Premier League history. No English coach and they know that. None. So does that mean that English coaches are not good? Yeah, that's it, Roger. I don't know. Then if you link up people like Freddie Butler, man. This is a big one too. Yeah. Tell me the top 5 coaches in your eyes who have coached in the EPL that you know, right? I can give you my 5. My 5 best English coaches. Let me type them in here and put Alex Ferguson. Right? And this is not in order, all right? Of course, you have the great Arsene Wenger. All right? Bam. Yeah, of course, you have Jurgen Klopp. Definitely. All right? Not in any order. You have Pep. Bam. Who put Big Sam in it? Big Sam, your granny bells, man. Take out Big Sam name out of that, man. You can't leave out the great Jose Mourinho, brother. Where you do? Mourinho a big coach, brother. Where you do? Where you do? See the 5 best coach them there in England, brother. See them there? Them are the best 5 coaches ever coached in England. Big Sam? No, man. Those are the top 5 coaches. And the point I'm making that if you name the top 5 coaches, you will not have one Englishman. All right, boss. Brother says that's all to you, right? So the point I'm making is that some of the top coaches some of the better English coaches have not really won the Premier League or anything like that, you know. They haven't. So sometimes, you know, you have good English coaches, but them not use the top. All right, the top teams? Let's go in order. You have Pep at City, Klopp at Liverpool. You have who at Chelsea? The German. What's his name again? Forget his name. Forget the German at Chelsea. 4th, you have Arteta at Arsenal. 5th, you have Tottenham, have Conte. In 6th place in the Premier League who is in 6th? They even know. I think West Ham have David Moyes, who is Scottish. Who is 7th in the league? So when you look at the Tuchel, Tuchel, I think his name is. So probably the top 10 teams in the Premier League, you probably have one English coach. Oh, yeah, Manchester United. Yeah. How could I forget Manchester? Yeah, Manchester. Up there too. Yeah. So the truth is that generally, you can look at a nation and say, except for Germany. And listen, Germany have some strict rules, you know. Because in Germany, you can almost tell that 90% of the coaches are German. Monte Frank. Frankly speaking, Everton getting relegated. I'm telling you, frankly speaking, Everton getting relegated. You understand? People. Yeah, but tomorrow, Reggae Girls, U17 versus Bam Bam Bam. People, should we do a watch along? We can't do the watch along thing now. Who is a better coach? Frank Lampard, Stephen G. Who is a better coach? Frank Lampard or Stephen G? The game is at 3 o'clock. Who is better, Frank Lampard or Stephen G? Stephen G. Okay. Who is the better player, Stephen G or Frank Lampard? Who is the better player, Frank Lampard or Stephen G? All right, who is better, Frank Lampard or Wayne Rooney? Frank Lampard or Wayne Rooney, who is better? Hey, people, do you know? Somebody said Lampard was a better player than, yeah? What's it, Rooney? All right, do you know that if Derby was not in administration, you would say that Rooney is the best coach? I am telling you, Rooney good enough to, when you look at what Rooney has used to be where he's at, he can coach. Yeah, man. Welcome to John Terry. Yeah, I'm telling you. I think it's administration. So you have to give Rooney props, man. Rooney used around 16 players. And he was deducted so many points. And the man there at the bottom of the table. I respect Wayne Rooney. And he could have left the club and he stayed at the club. Big him up. I tell you, I really respect him. I think he should get a good job. I think they should take him at Manchester. They should have taken him at Manchester instead of Nine Hog. I think instead of Nine Hog at Manchester, they should have taken Rooney. Yeah. So I rate him. Yep. But I think Rooney should have gotten the Manchester job over 10, over 9. What is his name? 9 Hog or 8 Hog? One said 20 Hog. Yeah. Even we can't give him 10 yet fresh god. We have to give him 9. When he start coach, me see him reach up to 10 Hog. But right now in the 9 Hog. Understand me? So him no move up yet. Yeah. But people, I'm going to run. Thank you for your time. It was a good show as we discussed some more Reggae Girls content. It was a blessing to be here with you tonight. Listen, stay safe, live good. Listen, I want to close with this story for you. Very funny story. So, yeah, let me get it for you. Oh geez, I want to make sure that this word. Yeah. Yeah. Man. All right. Yeah. The vent. I think they call it the ventriculist. That when they use you know that, right? When you can you become the voice of something that is dumb. So for those of you who don't know, say for, you know, like the people who do the little puppet thing, you see like the puppet talking, they call them make sure I get the pronunciation right. Ventriloquist. All right? Or ventriloquism. All right? Where they take the what does it do? It means it's an art of talking with the tongue and not moving the mouth or face. Right? And they do all of those things. So listen, this is a real story, right? So I'm on this side, say, guess what? Yo, I'm gonna make some money. So I'm go up on a farm. And the man, you know, I understand me. The man go there and him start do the thing and say, yo, the man can't get the horse to talk. The people them give him some money. Then the man go around the chicken them and start and like the man ask question, the chicken them a respond and the people say, wow, he gets the chickens to speak. Bam, and them give him some money. All right. Then the man go around where the cows were and start doing thing. People them say, whoa, the man can get the cows to talk. Look at that, they're talking proper English. Give him some money. Yo, the man see one big. Understand me? Pig, you know. Pig. There you go, Sierra. You know the word. Pronounce it. Don't spell it. Pronounce it, right? See the pig. Pig look like the pig pregnant. So the man said, right, you know, he go make the people say, I bet you can't get the pig there to talk. The man say, all right, watch this now. Before he could even do anything, a man come and touch him on him shoulder and say, yo, are you the person? You really can't get the pig to talk? And say, yeah, man, I can do that. I'm going to do it right now. The man say, listen, you see anything you hear the pig say, anything you tell about me, a lie I tell. Who no? Who no. That is our money's man. Go and end the show. You understand me? Some of you now go get it still, but next year, them time here, when you watch the video again, you will get the joke. Some of you now go get the joke. You understand me? Big up yourself. You understand me? Bless up one and all. Need to go and fix some AC. So you don't know, all of you. Bless up until we meet again tomorrow. My name is man. This is I Am Sure Sports. We're over and out. Remember to like, share, and subscribe if you have not done so yet. Chris Roman, you're the only one get it. The rest of them are try. They might try write down the joke to read it to see what I say. I understand me, but you get it. Big up Chris Roman, you get the joke.
Yo, watch about dog, SK New Erdis, the body out there, Sniper King I represent for I Am Sure Sports. You get to me, I say, when you want the latest news and sports and updates and all of that, check out I Am Sure Sports. You know the thing goes in. Remember, you cover the whole island. Remember Kingston, Westmoreland, Galchester, Ocherase, Galtigo Bay, everywhere. I Am Sure Sports, check it out for the latest news and latest updates. Sniper King I represent. Where them feel like, ha. Yeah, someone on for the food from young, from where they knee height. I Am Sure Sports. Yeah, dog.